Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. She's sitting this one out. I'm going to talk about the video game industry. I'm going to talk about BlueSky, and I'm going to talk about how BlueSky is blaming gamers for Trump 2.0. I'm not even kidding. I mean, again, you know, when we talk about BlueSky and we're like, look, this place is a time capsule from 2017. I am not kidding. These people legitimately think that everything going on right now with Trump and Musk and DOGE can be connected back to Gamergate in 2014, and that they should have done more to stop it, right? But the thing is that Gamergate naturally kind of died out, and then they tried very hard to reactivate it to get hits on their blogs. Remember Hogwarts Legacy? That was a huge drama. They were trying to create a controversy around that. And then Sweet Baby Inc. They tried to create drama around Sweet Baby Inc. to kick off a Gamergate 2.0. And all that happened was it boomeranged back and hit them in the face, led to layoffs at their blogs, I believe, because they just would not shut the hell up about attacking people and attacking customers, led to AAA gaming imploding because a lot of people decided they weren't going to support the video game industry at all. And now they're saying it's just a very small minority of people that are controlling everything in government right now, and it's all gamers' fault. It's all your fault. It's all your fault for DOGE. It's all your fault. Some of these people, I'm not even kidding, it's not on BlueSky, it's actually on X. They are rooting for the IRS. DOGE is going into the IRS, and they're actually rooting for the IRS. The people that have been stealing money out of our pockets for decades, they're actively rooting for them just because they're rooting against Elon Musk. I mean, it's insane. And they can't wrap their heads around it. And this is a very kind of a delayed reaction, because I honestly was surprised at first with the inauguration that there wasn't more screeching. Because if you remember in 2016, people were like flipping out. And now I'm seeing more and more of it as the reality sinks in, right? As they let the sink in, I guess. I'm seeing more and more people flipping out and having, I mean, major meltdowns. I just saw a video on X the other day. Some school teacher coming unglued on his students because his students said something nice about Trump in his, I think he was a history teacher or social studies teacher, and he just came unglued and started going on about the only reason people say nice things about Trump is because they're afraid he's going to call them out on Truth Social, and he's a fascist and blah, 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 blah. And don't ask me for anything. And I'm not, you know, I'm really sorry I gave you a college recommendation letter. And it's like, oh my God, it has definitely spilled over into the real world. And these people always thought this was a real world thing. And I mistakenly thought it was quarantined to just being online. To these people, to a lot of these people, this is literally war to them. It's really freaking bizarre to have it go back to video games of all things. So let's talk about this. And I want to be clear before I get into it. Do not harass any of these people. Do not contact any of these people. Just these are public BlueSky posts. So, you know, they're out there publicly. Anybody can view them. They're not hidden. I'm not doing an end run around the system or anything, but do not contact them, please. All right. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Check out clownfishminus.com for our Plus Club and for our merchandise. Help support the channel. Thank you very much, because, you know, YouTube's not really doing a good job supporting anybody anymore, except the corporations, right? So this is Kat Tenbard. She was actually, I believe, working at NBC, and she was going after YouTubers that were covering the Johnny Depp thing. And I don't know if she's still at NBC or not, but she said there's a straight line from Gamergate to Depp versus Heard to Trump taking office again. It was a huge radicalization pipeline for previously liberal or apolitical people. Well, yeah, I actually do agree with you on some level there, Kat. It was, because what happened was people turned against the media. They turned against the media because they saw what the media was trying to do. They saw the media was trying to smear Johnny Depp. You know, and beyond that, with all the gamer stuff too, you basically turned everybody against you. So now nobody trusts the media. right? This person says, I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees Gamergate as testing grounds for where we are now. ContraPoint's video on Gamergate was a revelation to me. I don't know who this is. It's paywalled, but it's worth it. Aside from the ethics in games journalism quip, I wasn't sure what it was. And then suddenly so much culture war stuff clicked into place. But from my point of view, and I was not involved in Gamergate, right? I was only vaguely aware of Gamergate because I was too busy living in the real world. From my point of view, it was the other side. It was the left pushing their activism onto normies who didn't want it, and they started pushing it into everything. Journalism, video game journalism, where it doesn't really belong. You should just be talking about video games and consoles and walkthroughs and things like that. And, animation and video games themselves and, comic books and all of this nerd entertainment. So from my point of view, Gamergate was pushing back against that from what I understand. And I mean, we could get into the whole history of it, which I am only somewhat familiar with because, like I said, I was not involved in it. I still do not consider myself involved in it. But if you say anything about the left-wing media and the lies that they perpetuate, then you are somehow a gamer-gator. It is video games and gamers are the worst people, according to these folks. This person says, our government is being run by 4chan and a Gamergate Discord server. This person says, the insistence that what happens online is not real life was a big factor in bringing us to a Gamergate presidency. A Gamergate presidency, guys. I don't think Trump plays games. Patrick Klepek. I know I've heard of this guy before. I found myself nodding while reading this analysis about a current moment and connections to Gamergate. This is from Read Max. I'm not going to read his whole article. It is, God, it's so wordy. Like this guy is in love with his own writing. But it's called the Soy Right. And the gist of it is that the right is weak and everything they accuse the left of, the right is. But you get down to this part here. And it says the Soy Right is being oppressed and they want you to know it. They're scared to take the subway. Well, yeah, they're lighting people on fire, for God's sake. I don't want to take the subway. I'm pushing you in front of the trains. They're offended that you call them white or cis. They're upset that you didn't think they were cool in high school. They want to call the manager because there are less boobies in video games. They're crybabies of the highest order. While the right is winning cultural and political victories nonstop lately, that's not enough. Actually, it is. It is. There are a lot of things to celebrate if you're on the right or in the middle, even pushing back against extreme leftism and all the DEI stuff and all that jazz. They're projecting. They're upset. They're upset because the right is winning. And they need somebody to blame, so they're going to blame gamers, right? They also need you to like them. I don't care if you like me or not. I don't give a shit. Why don't you like them? Because I don't care. Now we're talking about they're repeating the lie about Elon Musk and the Nazi salute and the whole, oh my God. Just goes on and on and on and on and on. The return of Gamergate. I have to imagine if you've made it this far into the post, yeah, it's very hard with your writing style there, dude. It really is. Through all this absolutely heinous, overanalyzed internet culture stuff about soy and based in the video game Nazi priest. Okay. Okay. You are familiar with Gamergate. Actually, most people forgot about it until journalists tried to bring it back a couple of years ago. If not, in broad strokes, Gamergate was a campaign of targeted misogynist harassment against a number of games journalists and commentators, and eventually me and the website I worked at. Okay. So we got a personal stake in it. Gawker. Oh, this guy worked for Gawker. Okay. Spurred by a set of intricate and boring and extremely unimportant accusations of bias in games journalism. Well, we did a video the other day talking about the Aftermath website where a bunch of, former Kotaku and Polygon people went. And politics are like the most important thing to them, and video games, but mostly politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard to say, hey, I'm not biased when I spend 90% of my time talking politics and only 10% of my time talking about games. And when I talk about games, I make sure I drag political talking points into the discussion about video games. I can't just talk about the video game itself. And, I got to talk about, the chuds, and I got to talk about, the boobs, and I got to talk about, the developer. Maybe I don't like their politics. I got to drag all this stuff into it. Completely inconceivable 20, 30 years ago for anybody working in games journalism. So yeah, there are some issues there. For those of us who were involved at the time, it's generally remembered as the moment we all realized something bad was coming. You perpetuated it. You did. You pushed too hard. And again, all you had to do was be normal. That's it. All you had to do was be normal. The left wouldn't have lost so badly if you were just freaking normal. But the worst of the left, the most insane of the left, gave that entire side of the aisle an incredibly bad rep. And normies looked at it and they're like, oh, hell no. Hell no. As Kyle Wagner wrote at the time in a piece called The Future of the Culture Wars is Here, and it's Gamergate. Oh my God. Gamergate. Oh my God. It just goes on. I'm not going to read anymore. He's very salty. Let's see here. He is collapsing 80 years of American-led global security in favor of a maelstrom of almost bottomless corruption and dysfunction, with politics ruled by a kind of perpetual Gamergate, where he sicks vast online mobs on anyone he dislikes using lies and misinformation. I guess we're talking about Trump and or Musk. Here we have the Soy Right again. They're trying to get that to stick. Oh my God. Actually, it's about ethics and machine learn dolls taken down by a sniper. Oh my God. It's Gamergate. It's Gamergate for people who think they were too smart for Gamergate. What the anti-AI stuff. God, what is it with the Gamergate? You guys just are completely obsessed. At least there's not been a Gamergate parody of Not Like Us. I'm not trying to, this is depressing actually. I'm not trying to totally give up, but it's so difficult, and blanking it out isn't a long-term fix. It's all been planned since Gamergate, but I refuse to believe that nothing could have been done to stop it before it got to this point. Yes, you just had to be normal. You just had to be normal. That was it. Just be a normal liberal, just normal. And the general public, the normies, would have been like, yeah, they're not too bad, whatever. But because of the extremism on the left and the screeching and the constantly being aggrieved and just upping the ante year after year after year, the more you get away with, people just looked at the left as being just absolutely batshit insane. They're like, you're crazy. You're a bunch of crazy people. And I'm sorry, even if I don't like Trump, I'm not voting for you. Right? Why didn't the Dems stop Musk? Because Musk was one of them. Trump was one of them. Oh my God. Gingrich, we're talking about Gingrich. Gingrich originated the congressional plays. Gamergate originated the whining and free speech dodge. God, it just goes on and on. The Gamergate presidency. I just can't. Oh my God, what's this one? This is a minute ago. So they're talking about this like very, very recently. Today is part 3 of my Tumblr band series about the history of queerness and video games. Today we talked about the 2010s, and we unfortunately have to talk about Gamergate. Blah. There's still so many queer games in the 2010s to talk about. Grab some Valentine chocolate and enjoy. That's fine. You want to play games like that? That's fine. But when you start pushing fanfic into mainstream titles and the audience is telling you they don't want it and you double, triple down, and then if they complain, it's Gamergate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just, God, it's so weird. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. This is just very eye-opening. I mean, I really, honest to God, thought that people were getting over it. I thought that even with, Trump 2.0, that people would just be like, we did it before. We can do it again. I might not like them, but whatever. No. You go out to Facebook. I can't even post on Facebook. Like literally 2/3 of my Facebook feed is comic book people or comic book adjacent people or people that work, in and around the industry, whatever. And they're all losing their shit. They're all losing their shit. Like, it's just, I mean, they literally think this is the end of the world. I'm like, you didn't think it was the end of the world when we were locked in our houses, right? For 2 years? 2 years. 2 years plus in some cases, locked in our houses, watching our businesses collapse. You didn't think that was dystopian, but Trump comes back and they want to save you money on taxes. That's dystopian. I don't get it. I don't get it, but whatever. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.